It's a new year and we're back with a ServiceNow conversation. I got 3 things on the docket this week that I want to share with you. Things that I found, a couple interesting posts on LinkedIn, and a topic that is coming from CES. The first thing I found was a post on LinkedIn from Tushar Mashara. It was a post that highlighted the ServiceNow Python client, and he shared some of the things that he did with it. He shared an example. And one of the things that was just interesting to me is, outside of ServiceNow data, I do a ton of just data analytics kind of practices. Mostly it's a hobby with college football. And a lot of times I like to spin up, just a notebook, a Jupyter Labs notebook, and do some analysis and, exploratory stuff with that data. And in his example, he set up a notebook, was, using the client to pull data and did some other things with it. And then even started using some of the libraries like LangChain to do some AI stuff with it. And so I was interested to see, because the client's interesting, how long had it been around. So I went to GitHub and found the source. Seems like they released it in 2020, so it's been around for a while. It does seem like it's getting some new attention, and the number of updates to that repository on GitHub were more frequent over the last 12 to 16 months. But this is really the first time I've seen anyone like demo. It was just a use case that they were showing of things that could be done with it. So I would just be interested to know if other people are using it, what the support is, because always when you have these tools, you want to make sure you're using something that's going to be supported over time. But it was really cool. Python is my first love in the programming language, specifically because of, data analysis and, the various things you can do with it. So be interested to hear if anyone's ever, used the client and done anything with it. The second post I saw was a post by 2 gentlemen from ServiceNow, Alex Panzarella, and I don't know that I have the other person's name. Anyway, I'll share it here below the post, or I'll share it in the video. But they shared an example of you creating a workflow to create custom demo data for client demos or prospect demos. And that is one of the things that I feel like, I don't know necessarily that I struggle with, but it's one of the more time-consuming things I feel I have to do when it comes to trying to have a good demo of, the software that we're building to visualize data. It's actually having good data. And so it was really interesting. They used a workflow. They created a catalog item and, just created this whole workflow where you create these variables through the form, and those get pumped into a prompt. The prompt gets sent over to ChatGPT. That prompt then generates the data, and then using a flow and transform map, the data gets inputted into the right tables at the right time in ServiceNow. And so, again, one of the things that is that this is saving a lot of time, because not only can the demo data be tailored specific to the use case that you're trying to show with your tool, but just the time it takes to create that demo data. If you can create it such that you can automate some of that work to do that, it would be incredibly useful. And the last one I have is a thought-provoking post of the week. And I saw this either on Twitter or on LinkedIn. Aaron Levy, the CEO of Box, was responding to Jensen's CES keynote last week. And the statement that he pulled out was, IT departments of every company are going to be HR department of AI agents of the future. Kind of just suggesting the fact that, as someone in IT, you've been called upon to do things yourself or to help support IT projects and, incidents and issues. But in the future, the job is going to be deploying and training the right agents, AI agents, to do that work. So I thought it was a pretty interesting concept. And so it got me to go over to YouTube because I hadn't watched the keynote yet, and to listen to what Jensen had to say. And actually, that was a very specific quote taken directly from him. And he kind of shared the same thought that, IT is moving to a world where these agents are going to start providing a lot of the work, and deploying the agents is going to be, the task that IT departments have. So, and what I started thinking of was, okay, what does this mean for ServiceNow? Obviously, AI, generative AI was the whole topic last year at Knowledge. And so, Mitch, our CEO, said, a few weeks ago that AI agents are going to be the theme of Knowledge this year, just as a prediction. That was something that he said. And so I went to ServiceNow just to see to the website, and I had noticed that they have a whole new website. Actually, Mitch pointed out that they had a new website. But looking through there, if you go into the products, you see that AI agents, or agentic AI, I can't remember exactly what they called it, is one of the featured products. It is AI agents here. And the interesting thing is that it's placed above ITSM, CSM, ITOM, SPM, etc. It's the thing that's getting promoted. And not only that, there is an event on January 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern that Bill is going to lead, and it's Say Hello to Real AI Agents. So obviously we're at the day zero of everyone talking about AI agents. There's been some things, that have been happening over the last year or so that I've seen, but it's at the forefront of every person's talking points, at the enterprise level. So I'm curious, when you think of AI agents, does it scare you? Does it make you happy? How is it going to change the work that you do today, next year, and what we're doing in 5 and 10 years from now? So those are the 3 topics I got for the week. As always, happy to keep a pulse on the ServiceNow ecosystem, and especially on the data visualization side. So talk to you again later.